He is a hero. He is somebody that was a good Samaritan and jumped to the cause of making this city a safer place. Isn't that what we want, to have good people get involved and make us safer?
Supporters are demanding justice for U.S. Marine veteran Daniel Penny. A well-known far-left district attorney in New York City, though, charged Penny with manslaughter in the subway choke death of Jordan Neely earlier this month. Witnesses say Penny took action when Neely was threatening passengers. We showed you the rally live on the Focus yesterday, and then dozens of protesters were starting to show up behind them with their signs. Remember that? Well, it got rowdy, ugly. Police detained several people. One New York City councilwoman had some strong words for that liberal DA Alvin Bragg for his handling of this case.
I pray that Mr. Penny receives a fair trial in a borough of Manhattan where we have an over-politicized DA, Alvin Bragg, who puts criminals over law-abiding citizens each and every day.
Alvin Bragg already has charged Penny, as I mentioned, in Jordan Neely's death. Before the case can go to trial, a grand jury must indict Penny. That decision could come at any time. Raymond Arroyo, Fox News contributor. Raymond, thanks for being in focus. This rally yesterday and the words and the former military who showed up really make a case for what this means to so many people.
Well, look, Harris, Mr. Penny was trained to defend the innocent. His training as a Marine, I think it was probably instinctive when he saw people being threatened and menaced on that train. He sprang into action. He mitigated the threat. He obviously didn't intend to kill Mr. Neely. Otherwise, he wouldn't have helped the cops perform CPR, as his lawyer attested, when they were doing it incorrectly. But he, as a Marine, knew how to do it. I thought it was wonderful seeing those 60 veterans standing behind the Nassau County executive. But what a pity that people have to come from other boroughs to remind Alvin Bragg that good Samaritans are needed and should be encouraged, particularly at a time when you have scads of mentally ill people and drug-addled people roaming the streets of New York and the subways. This is something that should be encouraged, not discouraged, and certainly not prosecuted. The guy was just acting in self-defense and protecting his fellow citizens.
You know, it's interesting because that's where that New York City councilwoman started. She said, of course, we have a heart for people who need help. She said the system let Jordan Neely down, and she said the system is currently, unless they correct, letting Daniel Penny down. Very compelling. But real quick, and then we'll move.
And Harris, the Neely attorney made the point. He said, no one on the train asked, what's wrong and how can I help? Harris, it's awfully hard to have a therapy session when you're under attack or you feel threatened. I don't understand this argument at all, and they have a hard case to make before that grand jury.
All right. Black Republicans absolutely tore into The View co-host Joy Behar. The backlash now is growing over her comments about South Carolina Senator Tim Scott after he announced his presidential bid for the White House.
He's one of these guys who, you know, he's like Clarence Thomas, black Republican who believes in pulling yourself by your bootstraps, rather than, to me, understanding the systemic racism that African Americans face in this country and other minorities. He doesn't get it.
I can't even tell you how many people tweeted blackface Joy Behar to me, like pictures. I just, because I wasn't certain if any of it actually existed. Anyway, Florida Congressman Byron Donalds let it rip.
Joy Behar doesn't understand that she is a buffoon. But it's just a ridiculous opinion. She's never walked a day in Tim Scott's shoes or in my shoes or any other black person in America. So she needs to just sit down, stay in her lane, tell some jokes, but this is not an area for her to comment.
Senator Scott with this clapback on Twitter. When a black conservative who believes in the future of the nation stands up to be counted, they lose their minds. That's why I'm the candidate the radical left fears the most. Raymond.
Well, you know, as someone who deeply and profoundly understands the black experience in America, perhaps Joy Behar would remember the United Negro College Fund slogan, "A mind is a terrible thing to waste," Harris. That's what I thought when I watched Joy Behar going on. Does her family know what she's saying, and has she lost her medication? I mean, basically what she's doing here is depriving actual black men of their identity, and she's justifying it using partisan politics. At the end of the comment, she said they don't understand racism in America and systemic racism. That's why they're Republicans. That's like me saying Joy Behar can't understand ageism or misogyny. That's because she's a Democrat. This is ridiculous, and it's justifying bias using a political hammer. I'm sorry, that bigotry shouldn't be allowed anywhere. And shame on that network for not at least apologizing to, look, I know Clarence Thomas, and I've covered Tim Scott.
Well, where's Whoopi?
These are men who actually have endured real racism. How dare anybody, particularly Joy Behar, to say, you just don't understand that racism thing. Move along.
I mean, where is Whoopi Goldberg?
Right.
It just begs so many questions. But look, we're in a political ecosystem. You were hinting at it. Now I'll boldly say it. It starts from the top. When the president looks just recently across a room and sees a man of color and calls him a boy, when he does the same thing to a senior advisor of his during his presidency, when he says, oh, if you don't vote for him, you're not really black, like he has a litmus on what being black means. This is the political ecosystem that we're in. Your last quick word.
Well, a free-thinking, you know, Clarence Thomas used to say a free-thinking black person is the most dangerous person in the United States of America. We're seeing it up close. There's obviously a political threat here. They don't want diversity in any of these parties.
Oh.
And what's happening here is Joy Behar and others are trying to corral African Americans into one mode of thought and one political persuasion. Sorry, we're free here. All of us are free.
Amen. They don't like the D in DE&I. Imagine that. Raymond, thank you very much.
Thank you, my friend.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.